Hi everyone, and you've tuned into The Emily Show. Today we have a guest with us who's been living in Taiwan since 1988 and has seen Taiwan transform from the martial law era to one party state to its present vibrant democracy. He's written several books introducing the history and politics of Taiwan, and continues to write articles and participates in conferences to share his views on Taiwan's political and international status. So I'm happy to introduce to you Dr. Jerome Keating. Hello, Jerome.
Oh, good to meet you, Emily.
Good to have you here on the show.
Thank you, thank you. I'm
So
very happy to be here.
So how are you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I really enjoy the Southern California weather. It was much cooler in Taiwan when I left there.
Yeah, it's been kind of strange weather, very hot these days. So are you getting over any jet lag?
Yes, I'm getting over it. You know, jet lag, I think, especially as you get a little older, jet lag seems to catch up on you a lot quicker. You're not as resilient as you used to be.
Right. So what brings you to Los Angeles?
Well, I'm here mainly to speak at the dinner tomorrow night of the Friends of Taiwan. They're having a dinner tomorrow night, and I'm the guest speaker. I'm going to be speaking on why Taiwan's democracy and its identity should be preserved.
Oh, okay. So, well, let's back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So what originally brought you to Taiwan?
Well, that's a very interesting story, really.
Like this side.
Okay. And I came there in 1988 as manager of technology transfer on the MRT system. And I had been working in the city of Dallas with their transit system, and therefore was offered the job by Bechtel Engineering. And it was a 2-year contract. So I was wondering if I could survive 2 years, and 22 years later, I'm still there.
Wow. What made you stay there?
Okay, well, a lot of times one job leads to another. So my 2-year contract with Bechtel in Taipei, after that I went to Kaohsiung and worked on their subway, same position, manager of technology transfer, but now with a different company, Duluth Cather International. And then that led to other positions, and then I got married and I stayed there.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been happily married?
We got married, my wife and I got married in 1992, a long time ago. It's hard to believe. It doesn't seem that long, but it was.
So 4 years after you arrived.
Yes, right.
So then a majority of your time, what are you doing there now?
Okay, well, right now I'm a professor at Taipei Medical University. I retired from Taipei Dashui, or Taipei University, and then was called out to work at a couple universities in setting up programs, and most recently Taipei Medical University.
So who are you normally teaching?
Now I'm teaching students that are studying to be doctors or pharmacologists or any different field in the medical area. And I basically teach them English, communication, some literature, some poetry, a wide range.
So you're also known for talking about Taiwan's politics and international status most of the time, right?
Right. Most of my writing has been in that direction in the last 4 or 5 years.
And so what sparked this interest when you were in Taiwan, just working on the subway projects?
Okay, well, I'll have to admit, when I went to Taiwan, I really didn't know much about the place. And I remember, I came in on the tail end of a typhoon on October 6th. I remember it very well. And when I was growing up everything was made in Taiwan. So that was one of the few things I knew about it, and therefore I expected to find a country full of factories, just, you know, manufacturing everything, clothes and everything that you'd find. And I was surprised as I went in from the airport, you know, I didn't see a factory at all.
So it wasn't what you expected.
No, no, totally was not. I came October 6th, so came just 4 days before 10/10 celebration. So that was another interesting introduction.
So then how did you begin learning about, you know, Taiwan's past, its history?
Okay, well, part of it I learned from a lot of my co-workers. It was very interesting. There are different things started to come out. Like when I went there, I admit I thought Chiang Kai-shek was a nice guy. My opinion of him has changed totally. I now think he was a megalomaniac dictator, but if you want it in cold, hard facts. But I thought at the time he was the standard bearer of democracy, and when I got there I found out they were under just ended martial law, and he was basically a one-party state dictator. So that was the first thing. And I remember I was at a party once and was talking with a girl, and I think her grandparents had been killed in Ba, and I didn't even know what Ba was at the time. And she became violently angry, and I was wondering, where's all this anger coming from? And then other co-workers would be kind of half joking and talking about Taiwan's past. And they would say, well, the last colonial government we had was the Kuomintang. And so with all these things, I began to say, well, what is this, you know, in Taiwan's background that most people in the West really don't know that much about? Because when I was growing up, I thought I was fairly well-read and, you know, went through several universities and so forth, but I was totally, really ignorant of a lot of things that had happened in Taiwan. So
just being able to talk with your friends and other Taiwanese locals, you were able to learn more about what really happened in Taiwan.
Right. Well, that got me started reading, and I began to read in a lot of different areas and to talk to people, and began to find out a lot of, you know, the things that I didn't know. And that's then that coupled with the fact that once I got to know Taiwan's history, then I would travel a lot, and my wife and I would be traveling through Europe, and we would be meet people, and they say, oh, where are you from? We'd say, we're from Taiwan, and then they would say, oh, Taiwan, that's always been a part of China. And, you know, I knew the opposite, and I was wondering, why do people always say that? And that's what actually got me to write my first book. And that's this book here, The Island in the Stream, a quick case study of Taiwan's complex history. And if you look on the cover of this book, you'll see that there are many different flags on the cover. You can see basically 8 different flags, and the only flag that is not on there, and the reason those flags are up there is the only flag that is not on there is the flag of the People's Republic of China. And that is the irony. They are the only ones that claim that Taiwan belongs to them. So this book was written to set a lot of Westerners straight and give them more factual information and background information on Taiwan's history. So that was this book is in its 4th edition now, 2nd printing. So the most recent printing was in 2008 after Ma Ying-jeou became president.
Ah, I see.
The first edition was in 2000.
So there's 8 flags on here. Which one would it start with?
Okay, well, you would start with probably I would start with the Dutch. And the Dutch and the Spanish, you know, were the first 2 real colonizers there. And then I would add the Ming flag, and then I would add after the Ming, they were driven out by the Qing, and then after the Qing lost to Japan, the Japanese took it over, but there was a brief period when the Republic of Taiwan had the yellow tiger flag. And then the Japanese era, 50 years of Japanese colonial rule, and then finally the Kuomintang. Well, I forgot the French. In 1885, actually before the Republic of Taiwan, the French occupied Keelung area and Damshui.
Oh,
and the 1884-1885 war, Sino-French War. But the French, in a way, they occupied Taiwan, but it was really, they were fighting over Vietnam with the Qing government.
I see. Okay, well, this is the first segment of my interview with Dr. Jerome Keating, and thanks for coming on, and we'll stay tuned for the second segment.